The world of television comedy feels a little dimmer tonight. We learned earlier today on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, of the passing of George Wendt. He died at his home at the age of 76. For millions, Wendt was, and always will be, Norm Peterson, the affable, beer-loving accountant who graced the bar at Cheers. His entrance, always met with a resounding "Norm" from the other patrons, became one of television's most iconic and beloved running gags. It was a simple moment, repeated week after week, yet it encapsulated the warmth and familiarity that made Cheers a cultural touchstone for over a decade. Wendt's portrayal of Norm was more than just a character, he was a comforting presence, a familiar friend welcomed into living rooms across the nation and indeed, the world. His death was confirmed by his publicist, Melissa Nathan. In a statement, she shared the sentiment of many who knew him. George was a doting family man, a well-loved friend and confidant to all of those lucky enough to have known him. These words paint a picture of a man whose warmth extended far beyond the television screen. Nathan added, "He will be missed forever. The family has requested privacy during this time." This request underscores the personal loss felt by his loved ones, a contrast to the very public persona he maintained with such grace for so many years. The news has sent ripples through the entertainment industry, and among fans who grew up with Norm's witty remarks and ever-present barstool occupancy. Norm Peterson was the quintessential bar regular, a man whose life seemed to revolve around his favorite stool and his next pint. Yet, George Wendt imbued him with a depth and humor that made him relatable and endearing. He was the everyman who always had a clever quip, often self-deprecating about his unseen wife Vera, or his elusive employment. Wendt's performance was a masterclass in comedic timing and understated delivery. He didn't need elaborate punchlines. A simple sigh, a raised eyebrow, or a perfectly timed observation was often enough to elicit laughter. This ability to find humor in the mundane was a hallmark of his talent, making Norm a character that felt incredibly real despite the sitcom setting. The news of his passing brings a wave of nostalgia for those who remember Cheers in its prime. It was a show that defined an era, and Wendt was an indispensable part of its ensemble cast. He appeared in all 275 episodes across 11 seasons, a testament to his commitment and the character's enduring appeal. His portrayal earned him critical acclaim, including 6 consecutive Emmy nominations for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. While he may not have taken home the statuette, the consistent recognition highlighted his significant contribution to one of television's most successful and influential comedies. Tonight, many are raising a glass just as Norm would have to a true television legend. Before George Wendt became a household name as Norm Peterson, his comedic talents were honed on the legendary stage of the Second City in Chicago. This renowned improvisational theater troupe has been a launching pad for countless comedic actors and writers, and Wendt was no exception. During the 1970s, he immersed himself in the world of sketch comedy and improv, developing the quick wit and character-building skills that would later define his career. It was in this crucible of creativity that Wendt learned to connect with an audience, to find the humor in everyday situations, and to create memorable characters from the ground up. The training was rigorous, demanding spontaneity and a deep understanding of comedic structure. The Second City environment was instrumental in shaping his comedic voice. It emphasized ensemble work, a skill that would prove invaluable on a show like Cheers, which relied heavily on the chemistry between its cast members. Working alongside other talented performers, Wendt sharpened his ability to react, to listen, and to contribute to a collective comedic effort. This collaborative spirit was evident in his portrayal of Norm, who, while often a man of few words, always played perfectly off his fellow cast members, particularly John Ratzenberger's Cliff Clavin. The improvisational background also likely contributed to his naturalistic acting style, making Norm feel less like a scripted character, and more like someone you might actually meet at your local bar, sharing stories and observations. His pre-Cheers career also included various guest spots on television shows, allowing him to gain experience in front of the camera and further refine his craft. These early roles, though perhaps not as widely remembered, were important stepping stones. They provided him with the exposure and the practical knowledge needed to navigate the television industry. Each appearance built upon the last, slowly but surely raising his profile within Hollywood. It was a period of paying dues, of learning the ins and outs of television production, and of patiently waiting for that one role that would truly resonate with audiences on a massive scale. That role, of course, was just around the corner, waiting for him in a fictional Boston bar. The foundation laid at the Second City and through these early television appearances was crucial. It provided him with a robust toolkit of comedic skills, impeccable timing, an understanding of character psychology, and the ability to deliver a line with just the right inflection. This wasn't just about being funny, it was about understanding the mechanics of comedy, the rhythm of a scene, and the nuances of human behavior. When he auditioned for Cheers, he wasn't an unknown quantity. He was a seasoned performer ready to bring a unique and relatable character to life, one that would soon become a permanent fixture in the landscape of American popular culture. The role of Norm Peterson on Cheers was more than just a job for George Wendt. It became a defining part of his identity and a cultural phenomenon. For 11 seasons, from 1982 to 1993, viewers tuned in to see Norm occupy his usual seat at the end of the bar. His entrance, always heralded by the cast shouting "Norm," followed by his witty, often deadpan responses, became a cherished ritual. Questions like, "What's shaking, Norm?" would elicit classic replies such as, "All four cheeks and a couple of chins, Sammy." This simple, repetitive gag never seemed to grow old, a testament to Wendt's delivery and the clever writing of the show. It cemented Norm as one of television's most recognizable and beloved characters. Wendt's portrayal of Norm Peterson garnered him significant critical acclaim throughout the show's run. He received an impressive 6 consecutive Primetime Emmy Award nominations for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, from 1984 through 1989. While the Emmy statuette itself eluded him for this role, these repeated nominations underscored the consistent quality and impact of his performance. He was an integral part of an ensemble cast that is often cited as one of the greatest in television history. His ability to shine within such a talented group, maintaining Norm's distinct appeal, speaks volumes about his skill as an actor and his understanding of comedic ensemble work, a skill finely tuned from his early days in theater. The character of Norm was deceptively simple. On the surface, he was a laid-back, beer-loving accountant who seemed to spend more time at Cheers than anywhere else, often comically lamenting his unseen wife, Vera. However, Wendt infused Norm with a subtle warmth, a dry wit, and an underlying intelligence that made him more than just a caricature. He was the bar's philosopher, its resident everyman, offering pithy observations on life, love, and the pursuit of a perfectly poured pint. This relatability was key to Norm's enduring popularity. Audiences saw a bit of themselves or someone they knew in Norm, making his corner of the bar a comforting and familiar place to visit each week. Even after Cheers concluded its celebrated run, the character of Norm Peterson lived on. George Wendt reprised the role in guest appearances on the Cheers spin-off Frasier, much to the delight of fans. He also appeared as Norm in the short-lived spin-off, The Tortellis. These appearances demonstrated the lasting affection for the character and Wendt's willingness to revisit this iconic part of his career. Norm Peterson wasn't just a role Wendt played. He was a character that became deeply embedded in the fabric of television history, a friendly face that continues to bring smiles to new generations discovering the classic sitcom through reruns and streaming services. While George Wendt will forever be associated with Norm Peterson, his career extended far beyond the confines of that Boston bar. He was a versatile talent who made significant contributions to other areas of comedy, most notably on Saturday Night Live. Throughout the 1990s, Wendt was a recurring guest on SNL, famously appearing in the Bill Swirsky's Superfan sketches alongside Chris Farley, Mike Myers, and Robert Smigel. His portrayal of Bob Swirsky, a die-hard Chicago sports fan with an insatiable appetite for DA Bears and Polish sausage, became another beloved character, showcasing his comedic range and his roots in Chicago's vibrant comedy scene. He even co-hosted an episode in 1986 with director Francis Ford Coppola, a rather unusual pairing that highlighted his adaptability. Beyond these high-profile roles, Wendt's filmography includes a variety of film and television appearances, demonstrating his ability to work across different genres and formats. He brought his distinctive presence to movies like Fletch, Gung Ho, and House, and made guest appearances on numerous television series. His work wasn't limited to on-screen performances. He also lent his voice to animated projects and appeared on stage, returning to his theatrical roots. This breadth of work illustrates a performer dedicated to his craft, always willing to explore new avenues and take on different challenges, even if the shadow of Norm Peterson loomed large over public perception. His commitment to acting in its various forms was evident throughout his long career. The news of George Wendt's passing has elicited an outpouring of tributes from colleagues, friends, and fans alike. Many have taken to social media to share their favorite Norm moments, to reminisce about the impact of Cheers and to express their admiration for Wendt's talent and warmth. Fellow actors have recalled his professionalism, his kindness, and his incredible comedic timing. These heartfelt messages paint a picture of a man who was not only a gifted performer, but also a genuinely beloved figure within the entertainment industry. The sentiment echoed by his publicist, Melissa Nathan, about him being a well-loved friend and confidant, resonates deeply as these tributes continue to surface, reflecting a profound sense of loss. George Wendt's legacy is firmly cemented in the annals of television comedy. As Norm Peterson, he created a character that transcended the screen, becoming a symbol of camaraderie, easygoing humor, and the comforting familiarity of a favorite neighborhood spot. His contributions to Cheers helped make it one of the most critically acclaimed and culturally significant sitcoms of all time. His work on Saturday Night Live further showcased his comedic genius. More than just the laughs he generated, George Wendt brought a certain authenticity and heart to his roles. He was an actor who could make you feel like you knew him, and for that, he will be fondly remembered and deeply missed. The bar stool may be empty, but the memories and the laughter will undoubtedly endure.